everyone, welcome back to a new video on this channel. Today I will be ranking and giving my opinion about the 6 performances that we saw between episodes 3 and 4 of the new Mnet program called Queendom Puzzle. Previously I already made a video about the performances that we saw in the past episodes, so now it's my turn to do it for the remix mission. Feel free to write your ranking and share your opinion in the comments, to see if it's very different from mine. And without anything else to say, let's start. In general, I enjoyed the performance. I don't think that any of the performances were bad, but in my opinion this is the flattest one. There are too many things I want to point out. The first one is that, I watch the show to see the different combinations between the participants. I mean, we don't see every day a member of loveyz doing a collab stage with a member of weekly. And even though they couldn't choose the members of the group, I think it was a disadvantage that 3 of the 5 members were from Cherry Bullet. I mean, we have already seen them together. But I liked this collab between Rocket Punch and Cherry Bullet. Another thing I wanted to point out was the remix they did of the song, and I didn't like it at all. I feel that there was no predetermined concept to do the remix. They knew that the song was summery and I feel that they tried to follow that line, but I think it didn't bring anything special, not even a killing part. There is nothing surprising. And for me that's what made me put them in last place, because if the mission is about doing a remix, I think the remix is what you have to take into account the most. Also, the distribution of the lines and the different parts I think was not the right one, especially in the main vocal part. And even though if we talk about vocal technique, in the group obviously 𝒉𝒆𝒍𝒐 would have to be the lead vocal, but I think Dance the Night Away is not a song where that is rewarded too much. In fact I think Ioona would have done a better job. And she could have shown too much because she has never been seen in a position like that, even though she has a great vocal. There was only one high note, and they didn't even focus on 𝒉𝒆𝒍𝒐 when they did it. It was a totally secondary part of the song. That's why I think that, even though in almost any situation I would have chosen 𝒉𝒆𝒍𝒐 as main vocal, this is not the case. She didn't do it funny. She has a lot of charisma on stage, but this time I didn't see it. And in the first part of the song his voice was too high-pitched for me. It didn't fit at all in the song. Lastly, I would like you to appreciate the resemblance between Ioona and enhypen. It's amazing, they look so much alike, especially with the braids. When I think of Don't Call Me, I think of a song with a lot of impact and charisma and above all energy, and I generally didn't feel that this was present in the performance in some parts and for some participants. The choreography for my taste was perfect, but in the performance itself there were things that for my personal opinion were too much. I don't think it was necessary that this girl had to go all around the building to pretend to be in 2 places at the same time. I feel that it could have been done better, but I don't think the members had control over this. But without a doubt my biggest problem was with the vocals. I didn't understand the editing they did to the pre-recorded vocals. They sounded very bad, and I think this wouldn't be a problem if they were camouflaged in the live performance, but the problem is that they weren't, because there were parts where they did a little bit of lip sync, and you could hear it, which I don't understand why they let some participants do lip sync while other performances were completely live. Other little things to point out, I think this was cringe. So I love you, but why? Also I didn't understand very well if they wanted the presentation to be powerful or sexy, because there were members like Ioona that did their parts in a very sexy and sensual way, and others like 𝒉𝒆𝒍𝒐 did it with more energy. I understand that you can make a mix and make it look good, but this didn't seem intentional. It confused me a bit, but it was a solid presentation.
When we pull up, you know it's a shutdown. 간판 내리고 문 잠궈 shutdown.
This performance was the one that I had the highest expectations because it contains two of my favorite contestants and my least favorite participant. If you want to know who they are, you have my previous video. Sorry I had to do a little shameless promotion. But well, to begin with, the first time I saw it, the performance seemed very messy, as if they were trying to do many things at once. Watching it more times it doesn't seem so much like that, but I do think they tried to do a perfect performance both in vocals and dance, but in an extreme way, like giving their best in both aspects, and I feel that in the end it wasn't so impressive in neither sides, because of the amount of key moments that were there. I said before that in Dance the Night Away there wasn't any killing part, but in Shutdown I think there were too many. And in theory this shouldn't be a bad thing, but I lost the focus of so many things to look at. Of course, singing while moving on the floor, doing 1,000 steps with synchronized hands and feet while the camera moves to the other member because it's a vocal duo, and making everything perfect is cool, but in my opinion it's too much. Nevertheless, if looking at the dance or vocal only, the presentation was amazing. They deserved more votes. They robbed this quartet so perfect.
You treat me you a liar.
At first, I thought that the combination of members was not the right one, because it put together a person who has been in a group where most of the concepts were sexy with a person who was the opposite, and they were going to make a rather sensual song. I was a little confused as to why Nana chose Jihan, because I would have never imagined her in a concept like this. I would have chosen Ji1, Wiseo, or even another weekly member like Soeun before someone who has a natural cute vibe like her. But despite my concerns, Jihan did super well, and I think she surprised everyone. I thought the concept they chose was very good, because it was between scary and sexy, which is a weird mix, but it worked. I don't know exactly what they were like: bandages, strips, rope, I don't know, my native language is not English, well you know what I mean, these things. At the beginning it was fine, but I think it was given too much importance and the dance was very limited because of it. They had to do mostly movements with their arms, and they had to make them look good with the strips. And if you watched the episode, not only the performance, you could see that they suffered a lot with that, and I can't imagine the stress you must feel when you can't do your choreography correctly because of the rope. That's why even though I think it was a nice implementation on stage, I was too stressed that anything would go wrong with it and everything would go down the drain. Another thing I want to mention is Doohwa's outstanding stage presence. This concept was created for her. She did it so beautifully. She always got my attention even when she was in the background. She didn't stop serving even for a moment. They all did well both vocally and in terms of dancing. I liked it very much. How can you make such a beautiful performance in every aspect? The vocals of both of them were amazing. Obviously it's no surprise that Key has a beautiful voice, but Soeun managed to be completely up to par, and her dancing stood out a lot. I think it's not easy to convey the aura that the song has correctly. It's hard sometimes to project the feeling you want through a performance, but they did it flawlessly. It is one of the most beautiful performances that have happened so far in the program, and I didn't put it number one because the other one made me enjoy it more, but this song could be perfectly in the first place. I saw that for people the best part is the mirror part, but for me they are literally all but the mirror part. I feel that even though the dance was obviously part of the performance and was an important element to make it so captivating, for me the vocals were 1,000 times better than the dance, and that's why maybe I didn't like the mirror part so much. This performance was simply so much fun to watch. I was not bored at any time and without the need for the song to be too much like in Shutdown. The only bad thing I saw is that the introduction was maybe too long, I understand that they wanted to put in context, but that context lasts 1 minute and 21 seconds. I don't think it was necessary to be that long because the performance shows you everything you need to know. That's the only bad thing I'm going to say because everything else was perfect, plus with the disadvantage that nobody wanted to do that song, and I don't know if it was just me. However, when I saw the episode I felt that fighting was the song of the losers, so to say. Those who didn't know where to put them, just put them in fighting. That was my impression when I saw the episode, besides the bad mood in the meetings because nobody really wanted to be there, and I know if they could have changed the song they would have done it. All the members except clearly Jury, who expressly asked to be in the group, and I think that was a great help, because from inside they must have also felt that distress, so to speak, and that someone with so much energy and so much desire to be in the song expressly asked to leave behind the song that had previously been assigned to her, made me very happy, and I guess it made them very happy too, the group in general. I also think that even though they all did super well and had their moment to shine, for me Jury was the MVP, Ellie also did it fantastic. It was simply her energy and her vocals so beautiful, that I didn't even know she had because I didn't know her before the show. It was very satisfying to see the performance, how they interacted with the audience, and above all you could tell they were enjoying themselves, and that's why I put them in their deserved first place. And this has been all. I hope you like it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did, it would help me a lot. See ya.